When Vibe 105 reps, the whole city takes notice. We Reppin' is a northern salute to the top talents coming out the city and across Canada. If you're reppin', we're reppin'.
Toronto's diverse music mix, Vibe 105. What's up, y'all? It's your girl, NoBetterNina, and I am very excited for today's guest. He's been making a lot of noise in the city and around the world. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome LB Spiffy.
What's good? What's good? What's good? How you guys doing?
I'm good. How are you today?
I'm fine.
So I know that the LB stands for Loyal Boss, but could you maybe tell our listeners a little bit more why the name LB Spiffy? What does it mean to you?
Well, the spiffy comes from fresh and clean because, you guys got to look good. So that's where the spiffy comes in. The LB Loyal Boss, I got to stay true to gang. I got to stay true to my family. So, that's where it comes from. The whole style, the whole drip, everything together is LB Spiffy.
I hear you. And so when you say the whole gang and staying loyal, are you talking about Vybz Cartel? Because I can't help but think of him when I hear Loyal Boss and his nickname World Boss. So was there any kind of influence there at all?
Definitely. Everyone used to call me World Boss when I was younger, because I used to dance the Vybz Cartel and shit. I used to turn up to the music.
Yeah.
So everyone was calling me World Boss, and then I couldn't go with that because that's already his name. So, I want Royal Boss. So it's like Vybz Cartel, yeah, he's definitely a big part of the reason too with my name too.
Yeah. And so as you had just mentioned, and as I noticed myself looking over your bio, dance was something that you were passionate about at one point and was actually your primary focus. So obviously you're here now for your bars and not your moves. So how did you kind of choose between dancing and rapping?
Well, I wouldn't say it was my primary focus, but everything that dance, rap, and sports was just a hobby to me in the hood. Because when there's nothing to do, that's what I do, to keep myself, So I was always switching back and forth. One day I wanted to be a rapper. The next day, I was performing at my school, dance shows. The next day I wanted to be a ball player. I was always switching between the three. But when I started taking off and stuff, when my music started taking off, I'm like, yeah, I'm going to stick with this. This is what, this is what's working for me.
And you know how they say people who do dancing and rapping or singing, and sometimes they do acting as well and kind of become that triple threat. Have you ever dabbled into that side of things or no?
Nah, for sure. I put everything into one. Especially, when I do my music videos, I put everything into one. My lyrics, still basketball references. So everything is all together.
Yeah, so you would then be a quadruple threat because you have basketball.
For sure, definitely.
So being signed, other than being signed to an actual label, what would you say makes you stand out from all the other young rappers in the city that are also trying to come up?
Just the music, definitely the music, and you just have to keep it real, but definitely everyone knows I was one of the first young niggas to do this from the city, so and to actually be successful with it, so that's what already stands out. Everybody already knows that. Mm-hmm. And just the way I carry myself, I just make sure everything I'm doing is to up to par, I'm saying 102%. So that's why I stand out.
Yeah, so giving it your everything. And,
Sure.
Being signed, what would you say you've learned when it comes to the importance of the business side of the music industry and kind of learning that side? Because not a lot of young artists or artists in general, not even just young, really pay that much attention to that whole business side. So is that something that you kind of were able to gain more knowledge in as you became signed, or was that something you already looked into beforehand?
Definitely, when I got signed, that made me know even more about the business. That think there's some things I didn't know before, some ways I could have been making me money I didn't know before. So it just all comes into play. But definitely, I would say, yeah, definitely.
Yeah. And so 2020 hasn't been that bad of a year for you compared to everybody else, considering you started the year off with Kylie Jenner posting a story playing your song in the background, which is huge. And now you're kind of ending off the year dropping your debut album, LB No Pounds. So let's talk about this album. What inspired it, and what do you want fans to take away from this project overall?
I just want the fans to see where I'm coming from. I put my life stories, everything into this album. This album's been supposed to come out. So definitely I just made sure this album had bangers. It wasn't just a waste of time. I put quality songs into this for my fans because I know they've been waiting.
You had briefly mentioned, that the album was supposed to drop a while ago. Now, was this because of COVID, or was this just kind of like some other things that came up that made it kind of delayed?
So COVID, it helped me lock in. It helped me really lock in with my project to give the music to my fans. But definitely, kind of messed it up a little bit because I could have been performing. I could have been doing all these other things to help promote my album and things like that, my EP.
And so what would you say are some of the biggest differences when it came to creating that you took for granted that you couldn't do this year because of COVID, but were maybe able to do back in 2018 when you dropped So Spiffy? So I'm kind of thinking along the lines, because I noticed you had a couple features in this album, Bankroll Hayden, 2K Baby. So was there anything different that you had to do when it came to getting features on this album that you didn't really have to do differently when you dropped So Spiffy back in 2018?
Well, I'll only say like the videos, because like COVID, like, so you can't shoot videos certain places and things like that, but everything else, like the studio was still there, so I could still make my music. But other than that, it was pretty much the same.
What would you say is your favorite song off LB No Pounds that you really want fans to pay attention to, and why would you say it's your favorite?
Well, I mean, every song is my favorite, to be honest, but every day it's switching up. Like right now, my favorite is Balling. I like Balling because it's a time right now, like, what I'm saying, when my brothers just passed away, RP, NHS, JJ, you know what I'm saying? Like, so just a lot of things are happening right now. So like that's like a deep type of track. But also like again too at the same time, because a lot of my brothers are locked up right now. So I'm talking about like, you know what I'm saying, like I'm showing you like a standpoint from like my side, like, you know what I'm saying, like what we go through. So those are like the two top tracks right now. And then actually no. I like One Time too, like One Time with Hood Baby Pepper and M-Dub, like that's just the turn up track. Like that's just the track you're gonna turn up to. So like I give my fans like a little bit of everything, like, you know?
So what I'm hearing is the whole album is fire.
The whole album.
Listen to the whole thing. And speaking of NHS JJ, so speaking on that, that's, you said your brother, and he did pass away recently. So were you guys ever able to hop on a track together? Tell me a little bit more about that relationship that you guys had.
Yeah, definitely. Like a whole lot of music was supposed to be coming out, still will be coming out, but it's just, sad as the streets, man. Like, it's just fuck. But, we're gonna live it up for him,
Yeah, for sure. And, you've done a lot of visuals for a lot of your songs over the years, and they've racked up quite the views, specifically with the one for I Love My Gang with almost 2 million views, which is a lot. With your latest video for GoPro featuring 2K Baby that just dropped, why are visuals something that are obviously very important to you?
Because you have to like paint a picture to the fans. Because, sometimes you just listen to audio, like the fans might not get the vision that you're trying to show, but the video will just make it all make sense. Like sometimes, like I don't like a song, but when I watch the video, like it makes me like the song, like, So.
Yep. And so the album LB No Pounds just dropped. The visuals for GoPro are out now. The world is on lockdown, so no performances yet. But what can fans expect from you next?
A whole lot of new heaters, man. A whole lot of heaters you guys can expect from me. Even videos, whole lot of videos. We're just going hard. I'm just going hard, the whole team.
And where can listeners check out your music and follow you on social media?
You guys can follow me everywhere at LB Spiffy. That's Instagram, YouTube, LB Spiffy, Spotify, LB Spiffy, everywhere. Apple Music, all streaming platforms, SoundCloud, everything.
All right. Be sure to keep it locked right here to Vibe 105 for the rest of the afternoon vibe. And make sure to check out LB Spiffy's music on all streaming platforms and go get that new album, LB No Pounds. And here he is right now with his track Again featuring Bankroll Hayden.
Go through this again when we hopping out the bands and straight to action, no second. Now we don't wanna go through this again. I'm they get it and ain't got no time to make new friends. Nah, we don't wanna go through it again. Cut that top, baby. My they drip walk, baby. I'm getting shout out all of the bands. I don't got time to make new friends.
Your sound, your vibe. Toronto's diverse music mix. Vibe 105.